Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Today's message is it is important for us to know
Sorry about that.
the power of the oath. Power of the oath. And we know what the oath is when you make a swear, when you swear. Okay, we're going to cover this. I want you to really understand this message here. Okay. What is an oath?
It's a covenant. It's an agreement.
But watch this. According to Hebrew, the word for oath is Allah. Interesting, huh? And it actually means curse or cursing.
An imprecation.
Think that's something?
Swearing. Yes.
That's what it means. You say, well, how could that be? Okay, well, I'll explain it to you. Okay? Usually, when an oath is put forth, there's a curse attached to it and a blessing.
Or a blessing. Yeah.
Or a blessing. That's right. And so the oath is put forth, and things will go well for you if you don't break the oath. But if you break the oath, now here comes the cursing. I got some scriptures I want to share with you. And I want you to pay good attention to what we're talking about here, because that oath is there's usually a curse attached to an oath. You want to say it? There's usually a curse attached to an oath. All right?
Meaning, if, I want y'all to keep that in mind, that if you break the oath, there's a curse. If you keep the oath, it's not a curse.
That's right.
That's how important it is to know the power of an oath before you make them.
Right. Now, some oaths could linger from generation to generation to generation to generation to generation until that people is no longer existing. It can last throughout a generation, or shall I say throughout existence of a people. Now, here's where it's going to get interesting. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 6.
Hebrews chapter 6.
And we're going to start at verse 9 through 20.
Hebrews chapter 6, verses 9 through 20. But beloved, we are persuaded better things of you, and things that accompany Yeshua, though we thus speak.
Salvation.
For Elohim is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which you have showed toward his name, in that ye have ministered to the Kodashim, and do minister. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end, that ye be not slothful, but be followers of them who through belief and patience inherit the promises. For when Elohim made promise to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, he swore by himself, saying, surely blessings I will bless you, and multiplying I will multiply you. And so after he had patiently endured, he obtained the promise. For men truly swear by the greater, and an oath for confirmation is to them an end of all strife, wherein Elohim, willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath, that by two immutable things, in which it was impossible for Elohim to lie, we might have a strong consolation, who have fled for refuge to lay hold upon the hope set before us, which hope we have as an anchor of our soul, both sure and steadfast, and which enters into that within the veil, whither the forerunner is for us entered, even Yeshua, made a high priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek.
Okay. Now, I want you to try to read between the lines and listen to what's actually being said here. Okay? Paul is basically trying to say something to you, and I want you to get this. He's saying that we are persuaded better things of you, things that accompany salvation, though we thus speak. For Elohim is not unrighteous to forget your work of labor, which you have shown toward his name and ministered to the saints and do minister. We desire that every one of you do show the same diligence. So he's trying to get you to be, not be slothful in your walk, and understand that Yah isn't going to forget the work that you do. And so he's trying to give you this confidence that's going to boost your faith by telling you he could swear by no greater, he swore by himself. And he gave you an oath confirming that when I tell you I'm going to bless you, I really mean I'm going to bless you. You can believe it. This is something that you need not to doubt. So it says by two immutable things, it is impossible for him to lie. Mm-hmm. So then by him telling you that he's going to do it, or when he promised you, or when he promised Abraham, which we are descendants of Abraham, and he said, blessings I will bless you, right? Mm-hmm. Then you can count on it. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. You can have faith that because he made this promise to Abraham, and we see in history he blessed in his promises, right? And the only time you see where he didn't bless was because Israel didn't do what they were supposed to do. Right, and they forced the curse into their life. Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's why it says we can lay hold upon the hope that is set before us. It's saying you can bank on this. Yah made an oath that he's going to do this, that, or the other for us if we do this, that, or the other. So you can hang your hat on this.
Yes.
It's as good as in the bank. And so it's very important that we know both sides of that oath. That's why I'm glad Washington brought out the fact that an oath can bring about a blessing or a curse. Right. Because that oath is dependent upon our actions.
That's right.
That's why the scripture tells us to choose ye this day whom we will serve.
Yes, it does.
And many choose unrighteousness.
That's right.
And this is why they get the curses instead of the blessings.
That's right. They get the curses instead of the blessings. That's right. Yah's oath, Yashiva. The name Yashiva actually means Yah's oath. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, let's go to Galatians, because Galatians is now going to bring you home to what's going on. Galatians is going to open it up for you. Hallelujah. Galatians chapter 3, we're going to start at verse 16 through 29.
Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He says not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to your seed, which is Hamashiach.
Okay. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. Pay attention to that line. To Abraham and to his seed were the promises made. Okay, keep going. Verse 17, yeah.
And this I say, that the covenant that was confirmed before of Yahuwah in Hamashiach, the Torah, which is 430 years after, cannot disannul that it should make the promise of no effect.
Now wait a minute. He's basically saying that even though the Torah came afterwards, it cannot make the promise of none effect. Wow, are you listening? Right? So in spite of the Torah, he made the oath before the Torah came. Wow. Pay attention. Keep going now.
For if the inheritance is by the Torah, it is no more power. I'm sorry, it is no more of promise, but Elohim gave it to Abraham by promise. Why then the Torah? Grace was added because of the transgression, that the seed should come to the promise through Elohim in the hands of a mediator.
Okay, hold on a second. Now, pay attention to what he's saying here, right? So he's saying, in other words, that he says, for if the inheritance be of the law, but he said it ain't of the law, it is no more of promise. Mm-hmm. Wow. But Elohim gave it to Abraham by promise. Wherefore then serveth the law. It was added because of transgressions, till the seed should come to whom the promise was made. And it was ordained by angels in the hand of a mediator. Now the mediator is not a mediator of one, but Elohim is one. Is the law then against the promises of Yahuwah? Yah forbid. For if there had been a law given which could have given life, verily righteousness should have been by the law. Wow. See, this is why a lot of people can't understand Paul's writing, because his writings are deep. And you gotta have spiritual understanding to understand what he's talking about. Most people, they twist his writings to their own destruction. And then you got those that can't understand, they completely throw out his writings and they call him a false apostle. Right? But this man has it right on the money. So he's basically saying this here. He said, now notice what he says here. Let's go back to verse, where was I at? Verse 22. But the scripture have concluded all under sin. So the scripture concluded it because of the law, that we all have sinned. We all have broke the law, right? We all fell short, right? That the promise of faith through Yahushua HaMashiach might be given to them that believe. So he said, I'm going to open up a new door. This is the regrafting in door now I'm going to open up. That even though you couldn't make it because of the law, because all have sinned, I'm going to open up this door because of Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay, which is by faith, right? Now watch this. But before faith came, we were kept under the law, shut up unto faith, which should afterwards be revealed. Wherefore, the law was our schoolmaster to bring us to the Mashiach, that we might be justified by faith. So in other words, no man can say, oh, I keep the law. You know, just like the Pharisees always saying, we are keepers of the law, we keepers of the Torah. We all about the Torah, we keep the Torah, right?
We hear that so much.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that you're using that example of the Pharisees, because the Pharisees were always talking about, oh, we live in Torah, we're keeping the Torah, we walk by Torah, we live according. I mean, when you have to say that all the time, who are you trying to convince? Just do it. Just live it.
Yeah, just live it.
Let your life be that example, right? But when you're always telling people that this is how we live according to Torah, we walk according to Torah. I've obeyed Torah in the whole things. I mean, when you have to constantly say it, then that kind of shows that there is a pride that you're putting in yourself in living in the Torah. And that in and of itself is breaking the Torah, because we are not to be proud and boasters.
That's right.
You see, and a lot of people who are always talking about Torah living and things of that nature, not saying that it's wrong to live in Torah because we are supposed to, but people who are always talking about it and yelling about it the loudest are the ones who are breaking it in aspects where they are in violation, spiritual violation against Yah and people.
Right. Now I want you to understand something, right? Because I see this comment on Torah. Abraham obeyed the Torah. Torah went around when Abraham lived his life. Understand what we're saying here. The Torah was not around, okay? And when you see the scripture says faith comes by word and by hearing the word, hearing, so we say Torah. No, that's not the Torah. The Torah is what, y'all? What is the law? The law,
and
which is
was
what?
Given the law of Moshe. That's
right, of the first 5 books of the scriptures, okay? This is what the Torah is. So Abraham walked by faith because he communicated with Yah.
Yes, he
and he walked by faith.
Right.
Right. So Yah's preceding word, Abraham lived by the preceding word. We live by bread only. Most of us live by bread only. Abraham actually lived by the preceding word.
Yeah, that's why Yah was able to talk to him.
Yeah.
That's why he was able to hear him.
That's right.
That's why.
Yeah. So Abraham in his walk, he didn't know nothing about no Torah. He didn't know nothing about those scriptures, right? You see? So Abraham, he walked how? According to faith.
Right.
So
that's
now
I want to say something about that, and walking according to faith.
Yes.
Because of his relationship with Yah, the Most High was able to speak to him and tell him to kill the lad, kill Isaac.
Right.
And so he was like, okay, I've got to be in obedience. I've got to obey Yah in this thing that he told me to do. Now, I know he told me that he was going to bless me with this son. Now he wants him. So, okay, I have to obey him. Okay? Right. But because he walked by faith, he was also able to hear the proceeding word. We talk about that a lot on this channel because people don't understand the proceeding word. Abraham heard it, and so he said, stay your hand, don't kill the lad. He heard that word too because he was listening for the voice of Yah that told him, look, don't kill Isaac. I was just testing your faith.
Now watch this. He didn't throw that back at Yah and say, well, you know what? Yah, because you told me to kill him, and now you're telling me not to, I can't listen to you telling me not to. I got to go by what you first said to kill him. See how the nonsense that is, right?
So you told me to kill him, though.
Yeah. Wow. So now pay attention to the scripture now. So now they go back and says, but before faith came, we were kept under the law, shut up unto faith, which should afterwards be revealed. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster, bringing us up to the Mashiach, that we might be justified by faith. Now watch this. But after that faith has come, we're no longer under the schoolmaster. For we are the children of Elohim by faith in the Mashiach, Yahushua HaMashiach. For as many as you have been baptized into the Mashiach have put on the Mashiach. Okay, so now, what am I trying to get you to understand here, right? Here's the key. Okay, well, let's keep going. Neither is there neither Jew nor Greek, neither is there bond nor free, neither is there male or female, but ye are all of one in the Mashiach, Yahushua Mashiach. And if ye be on the Mashiach, then ye are Abraham's seed. Wow! If you are the Mashiach, then you're Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. So now that promise is attached to you if you are regrafted in, if you are put on the Mashiach, right? If you are baptized into the Mashiach, you're regrafted in. So now, where are we going with all this? Because many people get things mixed up and they say, well, see, the scripture says, the Christians say, we're no longer under the law, we're no longer under the law, right? And then you get a lot of your Torah teaching believers, Israelites, they say things like, oh, wait a minute, you better observe the law, you better keep the laws and statutes, okay? That's why you got to be balanced. If you're in the Spirit is subject to the law of Yahuwah, and you're going to walk in the Spirit and keep His laws and statutes. That's the scripture. That's right, walk in it, right? So now we go back to this oath. Now, watch this, because now the oath is going to jump out at you because of the words of your forefathers. You are bound to this oath. Did you know that? Yep. Your forefathers spoke it, and they said it, and they were bound to it, and everyone after them, their generation after generation after generation after generation is now all bound to this oath.
Yes. That's why I listen. Generational curses.
Yeah.
Because the oath was broken, we're on the receiving end of the curse.
That's right.
Because what? An oath has two sides. It's either a curse or a blessing. And because our forefathers broke the oath or the covenant with the Most High, we are under generational curses. Now, can we turn this around and be under generational blessings? Yes, we can.
Absolutely.
If my people which are called by my name.
That's right. Now, that's why we need to go to this next scripture. This next scripture is going to blow it out the water. This is Deuteronomy chapter 29. I know you thought it was going to 28, didn't you? It's 29. Now watch this. Deuteronomy chapter 29, and we're going to read verse 10 through 29.
Deuteronomy chapter 29, verses 10 through 29.
Now watch this.
Ye stand this day, all of you, before Yahuwah Elohim, your captains of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, with all the men of Yashrael, your little ones, your women, and your strangers that is in your camp, from the hewer of your wood unto the drawer of your water, that you should enter into covenant with Yahuwah Elohika, and into his oath with Yahuwah Elohika, cut with you this day, that he may establish you today as a people unto himself, and that he may be unto you Elohim, as he has said unto you, and as he has sworn unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Yishak, and to Yaakov. Neither with you only do I cut this covenant and this oath, but with him that stands here with us this day before Yahuwah Elohanayu, and also with him that is not here with us this day. For ye know how we have dwelt in the land of Mitzrayim, and how we came through the nations which ye passed by. And ye have seen their abominations, and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. Lest there should be among you a man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turns away this day from Yahuwah Elohanu to go and serve the Elohai of these nations. Lest there should be among you a root that bears gall and wormwood, and it come to pass, when he hears the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of my heart to add drunkenness to thirst. Yahuwah will not spare him, but then the anger of Yahuwah and his jealousy shall smoke against that man, and all the curses that are written in this sefer shall lie upon him, and Yahuwah shall blot out his name from under heaven. And Yahuwah shall separate him unto evil of all the tribes of Yashrael, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in the sefer of the Torah, so that the generation to come of your children that shall rise up after you,
Listen.
and the stranger that shall come from a far land shall say, when they see the plagues of that land, and the sickness which Yahuwah has laid upon it, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that it is not sown, nor bears, nor any grass grows therein, like the overthrow of Sedom and Amor, Admah and Tishbonim, which Yahuwah overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Even all nations shall say, wherefore has Yahuwah done thus unto this land? That means the heat of this great anger. Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of Yahuwah Elohah of their fathers, which he cut with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Mitzrayim. For they went and served other Elohim and worshipped them, and Elohim whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against this land, to bring upon all the curses that are written in this sefer. And Yahuwah rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. Now the secrets of Yahuwah Elohim knew, and the revealing to us and our sons forever, is by the keeping of all the words of this Torah.
Wow. You see that? Notice at one point he said oath, and then the next part he said curse. See it?
Yes.
Wow. So basically, because of these words here from back in those days, we're still bound to that oath. Interesting, huh?
Now it's amazing what I thought to hear. This person says, and it came to pass when he hears the words of this curse, that he blessed himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of my heart, to add drunkenness to the thirst. So this person is thinking that they can circumvent Yah's word. They're saying, listen to what they're saying though, the boldness of this.
Yeah.
That it says when they hear the words of this curse, they say, oh, that don't apply to me. I'm going to have peace, even though I walk after the imaginations of my own heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's how a lot of people think today.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that they can do whatever they want to do, walk after the imaginations of their own ways, but they're going to somehow escape the judgment of the curses of Yah. Because sometimes Satan will give them a little season of pleasure, and so their minds get tricked and fooled.
Mm-hmm.
You see, but then the Most High says, aha, aha, not so fast. I can't lie. Because he cannot lie and he spoke this thing, just as sure as you are breathing right now, that curse is going to fall upon you.
That's right.
And so don't be like this man here who said, I could still walk after the imagination of my own heart, and I'm going to still have my own way. I'm going to still experience the peace and the blessings. Not so.
Wow. So basically, when you look at all of this, man, and don't go to the next chapter, because the next chapter gets into it even deeper. He said, choose ye this day, the blessing or curse. He said, basically, this is what's in front of you. Either you're going to take the blessing or you're going to take, you can't say, I don't want either. No, you in this thing.
Yep, there is no neutral.
There ain't no neutral. You in it. Wow. So now, I want you to understand something. Okay. The oath is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It's very powerful. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but we're going to go to the book of Enoch. Go to the book of Enoch. I want you to see this.
Okay, now where is Enoch in this? Is it in this?
Mm-hmm. I think it's that.
Not at the beginning. Oh, there it is. Okay. What chapter?
Let's see. You got to go to chapter 7.
Okay, Enoch chapter 7.
Uh-huh. How does it start?
It happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days.
Yeah, I think that is it.
Okay, section.
Let me go
it says
to it
section 2, verse 1 through 8.
Yeah, let me go to it here. Then this will help me to see if that's the same part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Okay, it happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days that daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful. And when the watchers, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, come, let us select of ourselves women from the progeny of men, and let us beget children. And then their leader, Shemyaza, said to them, I fear that you have perhaps been disposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer for so great grievous a crime. But they answered him and said, we all swear and bind ourselves by mutual execrations that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking. Then they swore all together, and all bound themselves by mutual execrations. Their whole number were 200 who descended upon Ardis, which is the top of Mount Sherman. Continue.
Verse 8.
The mountain therefore was called Sherman because they had sworn upon it and bound themselves by mutual execrations.
Now, they made an oath to do that thing. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
See, because they understood the power of us. If we bind ourselves to this oath, we're going to do it then. You know, we're forced to do it. And they want to force themselves to do it because they wanted this thing to come to pass. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see the power of the oath, and it did come to pass, and they were all punished. A curse came upon them because they did this wickedness.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now, pay attention. You see, it's a reason why the authorities are always trying to bind you to oaths, right?
Mm-hmm.
These businesses, right? You become an officer of the law, they make you swear to all these oaths and stuff. You become, you work as a lawyer, they make you swear to all these oaths. You become a doctor, they get you to swear to all these oaths, right? It's a reason for it. Are you hearing me?
Mm-hmm.
It's a reason for it. Because they're trying to bind you to something so that you won't go astray from the thing that they bind you. And if you do, there's a curse attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This is probably the reason why the Mashiach told us what? What did he say? He said, don't make any oaths.
Mm-hmm. Swear by nothing.
Let's go to that passage. This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 33 through 37. Pay attention. That's why I said the military, that's right. They make people swear these oaths.
Matthew chapter 5, verses 33 through 37. Again, ye have heard that it has been said by them of old time, you shall not forswear yourself, but shall perform unto Yah your oaths. But I say unto you, swear not falsely, neither by heaven, for it is Yahuwah's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Yashralim, for it is the city of the great king. Neither shall ye swear by your head, because you cannot make one hair white or black. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than these comes of evil.
Wow. Did you hear this? So we're not really supposed to be making any oaths, swearing any oaths.
Or promising to do
promising
things.
all of this kind of stuff. This is exactly why in James, it says, look, when you be sitting back, you made the statements, you said, oh yeah, next week I'm going to do this here, and next month I'm going to do this here over here, and next year I hope to have this going. That's wicked talking. He said, you should say, if Yah wills, we should do this or that. Mm-hmm. Wow. Are you seeing this? Mm-hmm. Because, believe it or not, when you're speaking these things, it's almost like you're putting an oath out there. And we know, if you put an oath out there, there's no doubt a curse attached to it.
If you don't keep that oath.
If you don't keep that oath. Wow.
If you keep the oath, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
There's two sides of it.
Yeah.
So, but we have to be very careful that we're not making promises and making oaths and
that's right,
not keeping them, especially with Yah.
That's right.
You know, that's why the scripture talks about if you make an oath to fast, it's wicked to break it. It's better not to make an oath. It's better
that's
to
right.
If you're gonna fast, just do it. But if you're gonna make an oath or a promise to Yah and say I'm gonna fast for 3 days and you don't do it, and you say I got weak or you come up with excuses or whatever, Yah looks at that like it's an evil thing. This is why we got to be very careful. You see, if you're going to fast, just fast. But just don't make the oath if you're not going to keep it. I mean, that's the way I feel. It's better to be safe than sorry, because he even tells us, he said, let your words be few. Let your words be few. How many of us can achieve that?
Yeah, that's something.
You know? That's why it's good sometimes to just go off, drift off to a secret place by yourself. Because as long as you're around people, you're going to run your mouth. When you get away from people, you can go off and you can talk to Yah. Okay? You ain't going to say nothing out of place to him. But as long as you're around people, you might be pulled into conversations that you know are not proper conversations. And so we have to ask Yah to help us to adhere to those warnings of letting our words be few.
Yeah. We do this all the time. I was looking at a statement here that, listen to this here. It says, the children of Gad and children of Reuben answered, saying, as Yahuwah hath said unto thy servants, so will we do. That's taking an oath. Mm-hmm. They took an oath. You see? So when you see these in the scriptures, you know, people do it all the time. You know, they make these statements not realizing that they're binding themselves to these things. Mm-hmm. And if you bind yourself to it, you better do it. You know, mm-hmm. There's a little passage I'm trying to think of. You remember that passage we were reading before? I think it was dealing with Judah. When Judah stood and he said, they made a confession that they were going to do stuff. You know, it was that one. I'm trying to think, what was it? I'm talking about. Mm-mm. Wow, I can't think of it right now, but
I know Judah did things that the Most High has kind of the generational curse of the things that he did in the past is on us now. Like Judah got people with usury. He would, they used usury against the children of Israel, and so now usury is being used against us in the lands of our captivity, and they're getting us hard and heavy with it too. It's called subprime lending, you know.
It's a passage where all of the men of Israel said Amen or something, and they kept saying it like 2 or 3 times to something. They swear into it. It was an oath.
I don't remember.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it in Amen.
Yeah, the tribe of Judah is in a very tricky situation right now, because we've done and said a whole lot of things. As a matter of fact, the scripture talked about when Yahushua was on the tree being crucified. He said, "Don't weep for me, but weep for your children and your children's children."
Yeah.
He was dealing with the tribe of Judah at that time, you know.
Now, watch this here. Listen to this here. This is the one I want to share with you. Okay, this is Deuteronomy chapter 27. Okay, now watch this. Okay. I'm going to start at verse, let me see. Okay. This is the passage where Moses had commanded the people to write. I'm going to just read it to you. This is what it says. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. Now watch this now. And it came, and it shall be, that on the day that ye shall pass over the Jordan unto the land which Yahuwah thy Elohim giveth thee, that thou shalt set thee up great stones and placed her with them, placed her. Okay. And thou shalt write upon them all the words of this law when thou art passed over, that thou mayest go into the land which Yahuwah thy Elohim giveth thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, as Yahuwah thy Elohim of thy fathers have promised thee. Therefore it shall be that when you go over Jordan, that ye set up these stones which I command you this day in Mount Ebal, that thou plaster with them plaster, and there shalt thou build an altar unto Yahuwah thy Elohim, an altar of stones, that thou shalt not lift up any iron tool upon them. Thou shalt build the altar. So these altars can't be built with tools. You hear this? Isn't that something? See how they build altars today? Wood using tools? Isn't that something? This is, and thou shalt build an altar to Yahuwah thy Elohim with whole stones, and thou shalt offer burnt offerings thereon unto Yahuwah thy Elohim. Now I'm gonna go further down into this because I want you to see that part, right? Now watch this. And Moses, verse 9, and Moses and the priest, the Levites, spake unto all Israel, saying, take heed and hearken, O Israel. This day thou art become the people of Yahuwah thy Elohim. Wow. He said, this day you become his people. Why? The oath. Watch this. Thou shalt therefore obey his voice, the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, and do his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. Right? Now, all these people there before Moses, right? And Moses charged the people the same day, saying, these shall stand up in Mount Gerizim to bless the people when ye are come over the Jordan. Then he named, he said, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Joseph, Benjamin, and these shall stand up on Mount Ebal to curse, Are you hearing this? Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali, right? And the Levites shall speak and say to all the men of Israel with a loud voice, curse be the man that maketh any graven or molten image, an abomination unto Yahuwah, the works of the hands of the craftsmen. Watch this. and putteth it in a secret place. And all the people answer and say, Amen. See this? Mm-hmm. So be it, is really what it would say. Yeah. Cursed be he that setteth light by his father or mother, and all people shall say, so be it. Cursed be he that removeth his neighbor's landmark, and all people say, so be it. You see how they're speaking and they binding themselves to this oath? Your forefathers did this. These are your forefathers that did this. Wow. Yeah. That's why it's still binding, because they all stood there before Moses and before all the congregation of angels and Yah's people, and they all said, so be it. Yes, we will be cursed. Yes, we will be cursed. Yes, we will be cursed. Wow. Cursed be the man that maketh the blind to wander out of his way. And all people said what? So be it. Cursed be he that perverteth the judgment of the stranger. Wow, wait a minute, listen to this one. It says, cursed be he that perverteth the judgment of the stranger, fatherless, and widow. And all people said, so be it. I mean, when you look through all of these things that were named here, and we stood up as a people, and we said, so be it, so be it. Cursed be he that taketh reward to slay an innocent person. And they all said, so be it. Oh my goodness. Well, no wonder we see all this stuff going on in our people, in our neighborhoods. Slaying of innocent blood is common among our people.
Yes.
Wow.
So when you look at the covenants that our people made back then, this is why we see, this is the aftermath we're looking at today.
Yeah, this is the aftermath.
And it continues to pile on as our people today continue to wax worse and worse.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I want to share that with you. I felt like this lesson kind of ties in with the other one that we talked about earlier. And so now we see why a lot of this is going on, because there's an oath attached, right?
Yeah, there's an oath. The
angels being dispatched, right? All this stuff, curses and angels and things going on in our households, it's all attached to this oath.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, family, I want you all to enjoy the rest of your day. Get some rest. The day of rest, right? Yes. Get some rest. Relax. Get in the Word. Meditate if you can. And just enjoy the rest of your day. We love you.
Yes, we love you, family, but it's time to go say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye and lay back for a moment.
Yes.
Shabbat shalom, family. We love you all.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.